Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Green Pill Secret. Today, we're going to talk about an issue that I brought up in another episode, and now I'm going to expand on it. Creep culture. Today, many men, young men mostly, but older men too, have an issue with being automatically called a creep. This issue is indeed something related to the idea that a woman doing something where she doesn't expect to be approached, added to the point where done by a man she would be ashamed to be attracted to, as in she may be liking guys, just not him, and recording equipment. So she can shame a guy on a social platform like TikTok or Instagram. This is a thing. This is a thing. And it is a thing which I'm going to go into the guy's perspective for a moment. Think about that. Don't ask out girls. Don't, because she's going to use that video and insult you on internet. Don't do it. Okay. That's it. That's it. We're done. Guys, just don't ask out girls. There you go. Solution. Boom. We'll never be the creep to you anymore because we're never going to ask you out. Is that really the result you wanted, ladies? Is that really the result? That even the good looking guys, the catches, the tens, aren't going to ask you out either because they're worried that you're going to put them on video and call them a creep? Or maybe even if you let them into your world, you're just going to turn around and say, oh, well, I married the guy, but now he's not doing the dishes when I need him to. So I'm going to husband shame him. Don't. Don't. I am, I understand, ladies, though, and I'm going to go to you for a second. I understand. It's not nice to be glanced at and ogled. You don't want to be ogled. I get it. Men don't ogle. Please respect the ladies. Respect them. They do deserve that respect. They're human beings. But a glance in your direction is not an ogle. A glance in your direction is a checking you out. But if he doesn't approach you and he just keeps walking, that is not a creep culture thing. That is just a guy checking you out. Maybe as a woman, you don't check out guys because you're just not in that zone. You're just not feeling it. And you don't think that it's worth looking at guys. What's the point? The guy walking on the street, you don't think about him at all because you're busy with your own thoughts. Fine. And there are men that do that too. Men that just notice, no, do not notice women. They don't notice women at all. And they're not necessarily gay. They're just perfect example. Going back to television, Sheldon Cooper. Dude never notices women, never thinks about women, never does. It's not that he's gay, he just doesn't think about it. That's what I'm talking about. There are guys like that too. There are women like that. There are guys like that. Just not thinking about it. That's fine. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to be obsessed with it. And I'm not saying you shouldn't at least think about it. No, it's fine to think about it. Don't be ashamed of thinking about it. But the creep culture is all about taking advantage that even if you're not thinking about it, he might be, and let's shame him. You're not shaming him to punish him. That's the problem. You're not shaming him to punish him. You think that he's going to go see that TikTok that you just made? No, 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 no. Same thing goes for husband shaming. Usually he's not watching it. You would be ashamed and aghast if he saw you insulting him on TikTok. I think most of you would actually be aghast. You're not doing it for him. You're doing it for the clout. You're doing it for the likes. You're doing it for the comments that are going, you go, girl. You go, girl. Yeah, that's what you're doing it for. And that's why we have a creep culture, because people are reinforcing your viewpoint. And all I'm saying is, ladies, let's not corrupt the very, very valid movement of Me Too. Women have been hurt, they have been exposed to the ideas, the seduction for nefarious reasons that is not even a seduction, but just a manipulation. Those are the Me Too things. Those are the things we need to stop. Those are the things we need to call out those men. We need to call out those men. The men that expose themselves, that use their power to force you into situations of a sexual nature and doing things that you wouldn't normally be doing. Call them out. Me too, me too, me too. Not necessarily me, but I mean, you get the idea. Call them out. That's valid. But a guy that glances at you while you're working out and just happens to be on your workout video, which you were probably doing not for yourself, although granted, I know that many men and women do record their workouts because you want to make sure that you're making that movement correct. I do. I go to the gym. I know what it's like. I too want to make sure that I'm, for instance, doing a knee bend correctly. And not having an instructor there, I do it with an instructor. But if I didn't have the instructor, yeah, I might be tempted to go video myself. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying don't do that. But don't take it as here's my opportunity to shame a man. No. Because you want to get clout? No. It's a chasing likes thing again. Don't chase the likes, or at least not for that reason. Don't chase the likes to shame someone else. Showing respect and giving people the benefit of the doubt is a positive, is a thing that our society needs more of. And as for the guys, the problem is this. There are lots of women out there who complain that no one ever asks them out. And this is one of the reasons. Guys are afraid. They don't want to hurt you. I'll be honest, there's a woman that I am fond of that I've been hanging out with recently, and I'm considering asking out. Now, I don't know if things are going to happen. I don't, if they don't, they don't. I'm willing to accept that they won't. And I know this person is not going to go and record it and call me a creep because they are my friend. But the point is, what if I didn't? What if I just saw this woman and I met her on the street, and let's say she was receptive to being met. Let's say it's in the grocery store and she's just mulling over which orange to get, and you walk up to her and say, look, these are navels, they're really good, I love them. By the way, my name's Jeffrey. Is that necessarily a bad approach? No. Would she be potentially receptive? Maybe. However, the guy has just said something polite and given you some wisdom. Maybe it's stupid. Maybe you don't agree. That's fine. But polite culture would say, thank you. I will choose that instead of this. I'm not fond of that. And you move on. That's it. You move on. You don't interact. You don't even acknowledge his name. You don't need to give yours. It's fine. You move on and he'll understand. You're not interesting. Boom. He gets it. He moves on. Or you say your name and you start chatting because he is somebody you're interested in. That's fair too. That can happen. And that's the point. You can happen. But what you should not do is whip out your phone and say, this guy had the temerity to tell me what kind of orange I should buy. How dare he? How dare he tell me that? Who has the temerity, has the forthrightness of orange mania, who thinks they're just so above me, not respecting me? No, don't. You have overreacted, and now you're just using this guy to get clout. Don't do that. That is creep culture. That is what I'm talking about. Be respectful, be kind. And if a guy just checks you out, take it as a compliment and move on. If he's not harassing you, if he's not saying, give me your number, give me your number, give me your number, if he's not doing that, what's the harm? Hey, I'm sorry you feel a little bit uncomfortable that he looked at you. And you have a right. You have a right to feel uncomfortable. I'm not saying you shouldn't feel uncomfortable. You have every right to feel violated when someone checks you out. I'm not saying you don't have that right. You do. But don't use the situation to become popular. You can talk about it with your friends. You can discuss it and have a nice girls' night out and discuss it. But don't throw it up on the internet just to get the likes. That's what's causing the creep culture. That's what's making men afraid to ask out the girls that do want to get asked out. You're hurting them. You're not just hurting the guy that's never going to see it. You're hurting the girls that nice guy, not nice guy, but kind and caring and gentle guy. That guy is just going to get rejected and rejected and rejected because he's been creeped out, or he's afraid because he's been creeped out. And that's just not good for our society. Point is, I understand the gents. I understand where they're coming from. I understand how this creep culture is hurting them. And I understand, ladies, how Me Too has made you afraid, how you'd rather be in the woods with the bear. We've talked about that before. That's nothing wrong with that. There's legitimate reasons for that. But don't use it to get clout because it's creating a creep culture. And that needs to stop. Thank you. And this has been another episode of the Green Pill Secret. See you next week.